So today I've decided to speak about how increasingly divine or God cannot help this world. And even if you went to a tarot card reader or some rune reader, coffee cup reader, or a palmist or any such thing or any such person, they can only help you so much. So, what is going on that even the divine can't help you because the world is getting tuned in such a way. Sometime back, okay, instead of starting with that incident, I will start with one of my travel trips. Very far away, up in the mountains, once in India, I was traveling and I went to a temple. And usually, the way I visit a temple it's a sightseeing for me. And I walked around, looked at the architecture. I read whatever was written about that temple. I sat in the compound for some time and just appreciated how the temple is built. And then I read one board which said that the priest or the monk who started this temple or the temple got built on the name of a monk or a priest who had meditated at that place for a very long time, and his meditation reached the furthest of corners, and people wanted to meet this monk. And as people started to meet this monk, they started to develop a lot of respect for the monk, and some started to ask for help to the monk in between some fight or conflict. And the monk heard the two parties out who were at conflict on any given day, and then the parties who were at conflict or two people who were at conflict went back home after the monk had heard what they had to say. And monk would tell them, I would tell you the decision. Within few days, out of the two parties or out of the two people, one of them, one party or the person would start to fall sick. That was the decision delivered by the monk, that who is right and who is wrong. So the person who was wrong in the conflict was delivered a decision this way, where the person fell sick. People continued to visit this monk whenever there was conflict or people were at um, loggerheads of who's right, who's wrong. And monk would hear them out and tell them, I would deliver my decision, or my decision will come through. And then the two sets of people would retire and go back home. and one of the two would fall sick, who was wrong. This continued till the time one of the one set of people who were deemed wrong or were wrong started to fall sick very acutely or very badly. And that is when people said we have to stop and we shouldn't take intervention from the monk. So that temple stands even today, and it's a very beautiful temple to visit. So now coming back to one of the incidences or internet posts that I read on GoFundMe, and that GoFundMe post said that this, so it was put up by a parent who said, my child is very gravely ill or has this problem, and only 5 million is needed, or 9 million is needed, or $3 million are needed to treat the child. And in the description was written, this child has a rarest of rare disease. And as I kept checking that GoFundMe, every few clicks, few days, the amount they had requested was getting collected and it was surging. So if they wanted 2 million, it was starting to get added up. Somebody was chipping in $100, somebody $50, somebody 20, somebody 5, but people were sending money for this rarest of rare deceased child. So what happens when the parent collects this money? The parent is collecting this money to go to the doctor so that they can start a research and treat this child. See, we have to, we should appreciate that there is only so much we can do about something in this world, and then no more. See, what happens is when there are too many people asking for medical treatment and are running on pills and medical aid, as an administrator, you have failed to look after people who are healthy and well to do. When a population who's not sick and is extremely well to do but will die working for day and night providing for a sick population, this world is going to fall apart. Collecting 10 million, 5 million, 6 million USD to treat a child who's suffering from rarest of rare disease is not a It should be banned for the higher good. Because one, how did the child get such a rarest of rare disease? It didn't happen one fine day. There is a gene pool which is not okay and it is continuing to reproduce. And nobody's corrected the gene pool also. Now, let us say this is one set of people who are asking for money to get their child or somebody suffering from rarest of rare disease with billions of millions of dollars. What if the family itself is very rich and has a child who has rarest of rare disease? Answer is very simple. They're going to spend it so that the child can have a good life. So when a regular person maybe needs 2000 USD as a monthly expense to live a decent life, a person with a disease, that too rarest of rare disease, will easily need 20,000 or 10,000 USD a month. They're pulling in the most resources. When you take from people who are well bodied, healthy, to provide for increasingly a sick and a diseased population, there's not much solution coming about for greatest of conflicts on this earth. The conflicts will become never ending. The administrator has to decide after what point is a treatment too expensive and not to go any further. Because then you're starting to hurt the healthy, good, well bodied people. Who has $10 million to treat a certain family member's disease? Somebody who owns a share into a MNC or is a shareholder of a multinational corporation which is bringing in billions of dollars daily. So, I want to talk about my life, work life in India. When I started working, I couldn't believe I had to work all days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it was not pressurized, but it was a normal that everybody should work all 7 days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That time I was young, 21, 22, and I said, why not? If everybody is working, I can also learn. It's a learning ground for me. After working longest of hours, where the day started at around 6:30, I got home back not before 10. This went on for 3 4 years, and then I joined another company with the global presence, and I had the same working hours. Reach office at 9 and you never left before 9. And at some point, my boss decided that it's okay to start working first on one Sunday of the month, then 2 Sundays of the month. We were given Saturdays off, but only on the paper. Then I joined another company with as much of a global experience, presence, which also works the longest of hours. So there, luckily, you could go home at 5:30. But if you went home, if you came to office at 9 and went home at 5:30, you are deemed as someone who doesn't do any work. Because even if you can go home at 5:30, you should not go home at 5:30 and you should sit and slog till 7:38, even if you're just sitting and chit-chatting and talking to each other. But you shouldn't leave early. It was seen as a taboo. We were not given Saturdays off. Thankfully, that organization did not take my Sundays. Where did who's earning the money and enjoying the life? It definitely isn't me. I'm very, very fit and well bodied, but I was paying for someone. This is the work conditions in a third world country called India, where foreign country companies will come and set up their business. Even Indian companies will set up their business and start to abuse you for the longest of hours. And nobody complains because people buy homes with very big loans. They purchase cars with very big loans, and that loan is not going away. They're going to have to pay those loans for 20, 30 years. And nobody's getting rich. People are perennially poor. With India, 60% of its population is poor. So when I'm talking about this of work culture and this thing, it's not even this 60% of the poor people. I'm talking about the ones who are not poor. What will the divine do? If I were to go and ask, let's say, divine or spirituality, which company should I join so that I can go to office at a good time and come home at a good time? I would have not got any answer, and neither could have a tarot card given me an answer. I'm a ace tarot card reader, but I could not have given you an answer. because there is so much shit and filth in the environment. Every company is operating like this. So, unless you improve your environment, divine is helpless.